All right, guys, welcome. This is the No1 podcast. I am your host, Jake, Coach Jake. Hope you guys are good. I want to talk to you today about what is more important, your rank or your results. Okay? So, what is more important to you, your rank or your results? And I might have to start over on Instagram here. So, let's see. Whoops. Discard video. Thank you for patience here, guys. Sometimes these things happen. So, what does that mean? Today, I was. I'm going to start them up here again. Hopefully, this works out better this time. Today, I was online, and today I popped on Facebook, and I saw somebody on there saying that they couldn't believe that somebody. Well, this is a successful guy, by the way, but he couldn't believe this is in grappling, but I think this is relevant across the board. Okay, that somebody, if they were not a black belt in this martial art, that they should not be teaching the martial art. Okay, now, I mean, I have a black belt in Taekwondo, but that doesn't really, that doesn't count much for me. I mean, no disrespect to anybody that's got a black belt in Taekwondo, and it means a lot to them. That's awesome. I got mine when I was 15. It was kind of a McDojo strip mall thing. It was great. It was important for me. It was a big part of my martial arts journey. But I rarely bring it up. I really do. I mean, it's not even like I don't list it on anything. Like, when I'm trying to to impress somebody. So, this is something that I think is like a big difference, and maybe part of the reason why I've been doing the grappling thing for a long time, and in particular, my specialty is catch as catch can. I'm considered one of the world's experts, leading experts in that field for my contributions and my study and whatnot. So, what I am fascinated by is this shift in thinking from the East, say, to the West. So in Japan, whether it's karate or jiu-jitsu or these other fields, they have, what's up, Marty Jones? Happy to see you. Number one, dude. This is partly inspired by you, my friend. I actually had it as a business idea, and then I was like, oh man, Marty Jones has number one in wrestling, so I could connect it. Anyway, love you, Marty. I hope you're doing well, sir. I know that you've been having problems with your ankle, and so I'm just wishing you the best. And I'd love to see you soon. So I'd like to talk to you about maybe figuring something out. Anyway, so one of the things that I've been working on while developing and trying to market this martial art known as catch as catch can wrestling, in my estimation, well, not just in my estimation, the estimation of people like Billy Robinson, it's the greatest martial arts sport ever. Okay, and I believe that as well. Dedicate my life to that belief. Now, I've tried to make this very clear deal. And guys on Instagram, I keep seeing this thing that says pause due to poor connection. I don't know. Can you guys on Instagram actually see me or not? I'm sorry to interrupt, but like if you can see me okay and it's not lagging or whatever, let me know. Because I'd love to know. I keep getting this thing about poor connection. Anyway, so the point is this, is that, there's this big shift in my mind between that kind of thinking and like in like traditional martial arts and in Western martial arts. Okay. Eastern versus Western. Now, I think this is, as globalism has happened, these values have traded, and I think it's not even due to global. There's different areas. The whole point, the title of this talk today is called Rank versus Results, right? Which is more important, your rank or the results that you get? So that's what I would like to discuss today. Again, Instagram, can you hear me? I don't even know if this has come through or not. I hope so. This happens every once in a while on Instagram. I love Instagram because you guys are super, super engaged. But man, it is kind of a pain in the butt to broadcast to sometimes, to be honest. So my question is that difference, like which is most important to you, rank or results? Now, for me, it's results. And I think this is why I lean towards catch as catch can, or this more prize fighting mentality. Right? This is why I always say the tagline for us in scientific wrestling is the only color belt that matters is gold, at least for now, because we're trying to really elbow our way in on into the grappling market and really present catch as catch can as a viable alternative complement or its own whole own thing, and as the best martial art grappling sport on the planet in history. So a black belt, I hear these stories all the time. Now this applies in business as well. Okay, so a rank in business would be an MBA, Master's of Business Administration. I have one of myself. I don't have an MBA. I have a Master of Science in Financial Engineering, which is basically financial mathematics and derivatives and a little bit of computer programming, software engineering. So that would be considered a rank. But what is more impressive? And now this is on a case-by-case basis, right? Everybody, oh yeah, Instagram, everything is choppy. So I'm going to try to fix this, guys. I'm going to try to fix this. Please hang in there. I know this is an awful thing to do, that that I will lose viewers and all that, and I apologize. So please just stay in here while I try to fix this problem. Hey, Liam.
Yeah?
I'm going to ask technical support for my son. Come on in here. Hurry. Do me a favor. I'm live. Say hi to everybody. This is my son. He's 10. And he's in here doing his work. Will you do me a favor? Will you start this over again? Will you just turn off the tablet and turn it back on?
Yeah.
You're better at that than I am. It's a new one, so you might have to go to settings or something. I don't know. Okay.
I think. Oh, how do you?
Here, son. Let me try it. Sorry, guys. I appreciate your patience. William, tell him a story.
I'm making a cool mask thing right now.
You guys speak up, big man. You're making a cool mask thing right now?
Yep.
What kind of mask?
Like when that. It's a full face mask.
Okay. So tell them a little bit. Where's settings? Do you see settings on here?
Settings.
Oh, cool. So shut down. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Billy, tell them a story. Didn't you did a wrestling camp this summer, huh?
Mm-hmm.
How was it? Shout out to Coach Zoe.
It was good.
Was it tough?
No, not really.
Not really?
I mean,
you're a tough guy. Yeah, you're a tough guy. But you had a good time.
Yeah, the toughest thing was when I got a black eye. That hurt the most.
Getting the black eye hurt? How'd that happen?
I was going in for the guy's knee, and then he put his knee up like that, and I ran into his knee on my...
And you ate it.
I didn't eat it.
You didn't eat it, but you got a knee to the eye.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry that happened, but that's what happened. You're tough, huh? You kept wrestling, too. You're a wild man. I love you, big guy. Okay, I think we got it fixed. Let's see if we can't get them back on here. Thanks, Liam. I appreciate you, your assistance, sir. Guys, that was my son, Billy. You can always say hi. For you guys out there, let's bring these guys in. Checking connection. Let's see. I am now live. Yay. Okay, it worked. Thank you for your patience. Okay, guys. So for everybody on Instagram, what I'm talking about is the difference between rank and results, right? And really inspired me today was I popped on Facebook, and a pretty well-respected grappling champion said that, hey, man, unless you're a black belt, you should not be what's up, Abracadaniel? Glad to see you, buddy. So he was saying that if you're not a black belt, you should not be teaching or something like that. And I saw there was a lot of people like, oh, well, I think a blue belt could teach basics and blah, 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 blah. So we're talking about rank. Okay. And as I've mentioned here already, I'm re-saying this for the people on Instagram. So apologies for the repeat, but that, um, for us with scientific wrestling, like one of our trademarks, one of our phrases in marketing is that the only belt that matters is gold, right? The only belt that matters is gold, which is basically saying we favor results over rank. Now, I wouldn't rank things. I would say that we don't have rank per se as much as roles. Okay. So either you're an athlete, you're a fan, you're a coach, or you're a promoter. Those are the different roles that I see in Western martial arts. This also applies to something like boxing. Okay. MMA as well. Like if somebody says, oh, I have a black belt in MMA, that they're probably full of shit. I mean, hopefully you know that, or you don't know that. Now you do. But now there are these other systems that have black belts, and that has certain meanings. And I have to, I'm being completely transparent. I don't have a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I don't know a whole lot other than having been in the grappling and MMA world, and by osmosis, all these other people that come to me and train and ask me questions, and I try to address it. But, for us at Scientific Wrestling, the only color belt that matters is gold. And so, for example, this person was like, well, they should only be teaching if they're black belt. Now, I don't know what that exactly means. And I think that might mean different things for different people. I'd love to hear your guys' take on this issue. But for me, shifting from the role of, say, an athlete to a coach, those are completely different roles. It's not a rank. One is not above the other. In fact, they're codependent, right? They're symbiotic. Like a coach needs an athlete, and an athlete needs a coach. Okay. So I don't see there as a pecking order, whereas white belt, blue belt, purple belt, brown belt, black belt, that's a pecking order. Okay. Now, this is relevant in business as well. I was bringing this up earlier, right? Like, what's up, Agoro? What's up, Sandra69 Alcana? Happy to see you. Thank you for joining us. So in business, this happens as well. It's not just like, right? Like, how many times, going back to martial arts, wrestling and grappling, how many times you see like a D1 wrestler, even a D2 wrestler walk in to the typical strip mall, Marty Scroll, what's up, bro? Good to see you. So, what's the deal with, like, you see a D1 wrestler, D2 wrestler, or even just a guy who wrestled a bunch during high school and he was good, walk in to your typical strip mall retail martial arts place, like a Brazilian jiu-jitsu place in a strip mall. And let's be real, like, I hear this a lot about these like black belts basically ducking or getting beat just through pressure. This wrestler doesn't even really know much. Maybe watch some UFC and is like adapted his wrestling. My point is this guy's a white belt walking in, giving brown and black belts a real hard time. So to me, that's like, that happened to me early on. I was, when I started grappling, I started wrestling in 1977, and I'm going to be 49 in 3 days. So that's like fucking a long time. That's a long time. It's like 40 plus years, 45 years or something, like studying wrestling in some, or martial arts in some capacity. But one thing that struck me as weird, and I'll give you another example. Okay, so it's just struck me as weird as, like, I'm wrestling all these guys, and when I first started doing jiu-jitsu, nobody knew it, right? Like 94. Like, I mean, some people, but it was very new. It was like the UFC just came out. And so I wrestle these guys and I'd submit them. And it was awesome because they just didn't know the submissions. But the second these wrestlers started figuring out the submissions, the tables turned radically. And that's when I was like, shit, I need to get back into wrestling. I need to figure this out because these guys are killing it. What's up, Wizard of Oz? Staples Terrell, Out in the Lights, Ruben, Amando Nunez, 9. Hey, what's up, guys? So, like, all of a sudden I was like, boy, this rank shit is kind of shit. I'm like, it doesn't really make any sense to me because it's not really a quality control measure. It's not really saying much. because these guys are walking in, right? Like I was talking about, like a good wrestler walking into a strip mall jiu-jitsu place. So that said, and that's not knocking anybody, I had another experience that wisened me up to grappling again because I had like never thought of the wrestling I had done as a child as a martial art. I just thought of it purely as a sport. Never thought of it in terms of martial arts. I mean, I grew up like thinking like, before UFC, you thought shit like blood sport, Van Damme and stuff like that. I'm just saying I was a kid, but like there was no real show of that, right? And so uh my point is that I ended up getting this black belt in Taekwondo. Again, I never talk about it. I got it when I was 15. So like it's not like something I put on my resume to impress people, or anything like that. Now, again, no disrespect to anybody that is an accomplishment for you. Hey, that is awesome. It shows dedication. It shows tenacity, toughness. I can appreciate that. Okay, but what I'm trying to say is that I took that black belt in Taekwondo, and this was before the UFC. I had a roommate. He was a green belt in judo, right? And I'm a dummy. I'm a kid, and there's never been this like laboratory test, this proof where belts and styles and shit could be judged. And I was really into Bruce Lee and into this Jeet Kune Do idea, Dragon with Jason Scott Lee. That movie had come out, and I was like, this is right before UFC. I'm like, oh, let's go. I'm like way into this. And so my roommate, now I had beaten him in a boxing match. I remember my birthday, which is going to be in 3 days. So this had to be 26 years ago. No, 28 years ago, almost 30 years. Jesus. My roommates had a half pipe. We were the only people in Boulder that had a half pipe. This roommate of mine now, different roommate, but in the house, I had 3 different roommates. One of the roommates now runs Thrasher Magazine, Michael Burnett, great guy, super funny, super smart, great business guy, incredible, is in charge of Thrasher like crazy. But because of that, we were the only people in Boulder that had a half pipe. And for my birthday, I wasn't that much of a skater. I was more of a transporter. I didn't really like the half pipe. But, to be good and nice to me, for my birthday, we had boxing matches. So it was kind of like jackass boxing, basically, in this half pipe. And I smoked everybody because I was good at the punching and the striking and the timing and the tricks. But one of my roommates, I think he got sick of me like walking around strutting my stuff after that birthday. He was like, well, and I'd seen this dragon thing, and he's like, well, you're a black belt in Taekwondo. I'm a green belt in jiu-jitsu or in judo. Let's go out in the backyard. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna kill you. And it was just the opposite. It was like a wake-up call. Now I'm like 20, probably 20 years old. And he would just, the second he could get on to me, I was flying. And I just, I was very young and tenacious, and I kept going, but it just was not working for me. And I realized, okay, I have to adapt. I went and signed up at the Boulder YMCA Judo Club with Bernd Busch. That's his real name, German guy who immigrated to the United States, U.S. seniors national champ at the time. And I went and trained with him for a couple of years while I was still in Boulder, graduating college. It was a huge shift for me. Then that same roommate of mine, while I was at the judo club, he and I went to the first UFC, and it blew my mind. I was like, oh my God, grappling. I've got to do this. Okay. Now, a black belt in jiu-jitsu was beating everybody. Royce Gracie, right? These big wrestlers, Dan Severn, even catch wrestlers like Ken Shamrock, killing them. So again, this like black belt thing comes up. There's rank and results. He had rank and results. But I think it's the results that mattered, because I remember like in, was it 97? Whatever that UFC, the one UFC where Kazushi Sakuraba entered. I remember that. And it was mind blowing. I was like, what the fuck just happened? I think his name was Silveira. Gigantic, 240-pound black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Gets booked against Kazushi Sakuraba, pro wrestler, like no rank. In fact, people thought of pro wrestling as like SmackDown bullshit, right? like The Rock and Stone Cold, like acting. So Sakuraba beats him. And people could not believe this. It was so mind-blowing that they actually canceled it. They're like, no, that can't be real. And Sakuraba put up such a fucking stink. He's like, let's do it again. And he did it twice on the same fucking show. Mind blower. Totally about results, not about rank. Does that make sense? That was a big shift for me. I was like, oh my God, what is going on here? Things are changing radically. People don't care about rank. Now, as I said earlier, this happens in business. You could have somebody like that's an MBA, a master's degree in business administration. Awesome. I held rank in business, right? I have a master of science in financial mathematics, financial engineering is the actual term, but you can look it up. It's a really analytically rigorous gig. And I got some high paying jobs out of that. But who makes more money? Somebody with an MBA or the entrepreneur who has zero rank but is getting results? Zuckerberg, Gates, Elon Musk, like all of these guys, a lot of them dropouts. Okay. In my opinion, the results are more important, right? That's why I've gone into catch as catch can, which is more of a sport prize fighting mentality. It's a lot more like boxing or MMA. You do not hear of anybody saying, I have a black belt in MMA. I have a third degree black belt in boxing. You don't hear it. In fact, people might look at you a little sideways like, oh, really? So I think results, and maybe I'm wrong, but I don't personally like all this kind of caste rank BS. I think there are different roles, okay? But I don't think that there should be this hierarchy of sorry, my earbud fell out. Now, I'm curious. If you guys want to comment, please, I'd love to hear from you. You can message me. Just type into the message in the chat, and I will represent you. I will read your quote and reply or whatever. What is your thought? Is there actual value in a black belt, or is a black belt? Now, I'm telling you from a business perspective. A lot of retail martial arts, that's the vast majority of the ways people participate in martial arts. D Victoria 213, like Sambo, it has no ranks compared to jiu-jitsu. Right. I think maybe like roles are important. Like this person's a coach, this person's an athlete, this person's a promoter, this person's a fan. But there's no pecking order. Every person is totally important, and not one is more important than the other per se. The athletes are very important, the promoter is very important, but the fan is very important, and so is the coach, right? Whereas there's this like implied pecking order and value rank with a belt system. Okay, D Victoria says Sambo has no ranks compared to jiu-jitsu, but it's as diddly as jiu-jitsu. Well, maybe it's even more. And like I would argue, there's no real ranks in wrestling. Now, there's championships. Like I say, that's result-oriented, though. Does that make sense? Maybe you could say like D1, D2. There's some rank there. I guess there's some rank, but it's a rank based on performance, based on result. So, for example, in retail martial arts, which is the vast way that most people experience martial arts, if they're actually participating, not just as a fan, the vast majority do through retail martial arts. Okay, that means they pay the strip club dojo, and whether it's jiu-jitsu is basically taking the place of taekwondo in the United States with that retail strip mall presence. So you pay, and then you go and you do your thing, and the belt system is actually there for retention. It's your little participation trophy to keep you on the hook as a monthly revenue stream for the business. I mean, I'm just being real. I'm like, I don't think I'm hurting anybody's feelings here. I'm just showing how the business operation of retail martial arts works, right? So, like they become these like, okay, you stay here 10 years, assuming you actually put in effort, 10 years, and you get your black belt. Well, I mean, let me just do some math here, right? Like, so let me bring up my calculator. If we do, let's say that your average jiu-jitsu place, and this might be cheap, so you guys out there, so Wizard of Oz says you can get fucked up as a black belt without actually combat experience. Hierarchy is to retain monthly revenue, right? So you're agreeing with me. So let's just assume that your average cost of a retail strip mall martial arts thing is $150 a month. I don't know. I'm just making this up so we can have something to speak about. So $150 a month. So times 12. So over a year, you're paying $1,800 over a year. And let's say it takes you 10 years to earn your black belt. That's $18,000 that they got you on the hook for over 10 years. Okay. And let's say that they they get 100 people into that system times 100. That means they generated $1.8 million over a 10-year period. This is a business, okay, that is couched in this like mysticism about belts and ritual. And that's cool, but it's all about like hierarchy and rank. Whereas the prize fighting gym, like a boxing gym, they don't really care. They're like, pay your dues. You can get in the ring, find a sparring partner. You can hit the bags. You can skip some rope. You can try to find yourself, try to get yourself booked by showing, at the gym, catch the eye of a promoter, catch the eye of a coach who's connected, that kind of thing. This is where I operate, in that space, right? A Western approach to combat sport. And that's what catch wrestling is, right? So we all know this story of how scientific wrestlers, catch as catch can men, in the past, is like, it started with betting. These are the first professional. Again, I've had a show. You can go back. How do you define the term professional? It's when you get paid. When somebody finds enough value in what you do to pay you, right? Or to where you can make a living doing something professional. You can make a life. You can make a living doing this one thing. Well, the first wrestlers to be able to make a living did so because catch as catch can. This was before professional wrestling became phony. And I don't mean that in disrespect. I did pro wrestling for a minute. I'm saying like preordained. Let's not get all fucking triggered and sensitive here. It's not real competition. It's like John Wick. That's not to say John Wick ain't cool and those guys don't get injuries and it couldn't be dangerous. Okay, I don't want to get lost on this. My point is there was competitions and these guys would bet. They would have a long day in the mines, the coal mines in the north of England, in Lancashire. Oh, most of them Irish, which were the very low middle class, almost slaves, during that time when Britain was conquering. And so after a long day in the mines, they would take their wages and bet on these wrestling matches that eventually became contested as catch as catch can rules. Some of these guys started making enough money from the bets that they quit their jobs in the mines and they became professional wrestlers. Okay, this is the fertile ground from which catch as catch can sprang. They didn't care about your belt unless it was a gold belt that came with a lot of money that could buy a steak dinner, right? Have I told that story about Billy Robinson? Billy Robinson was an amateur and he won all these huge titles as an amateur competitive wrestler. And he went to his coach, Billy Riley, and his coach, Billy Riley, was like, hey, I've coached you all these years. You've had all this success. That's great, but why don't you buy me a steak dinner now? And Billy was like, hold these medals. And he's like, I just don't have any money. And Billy said, yeah, you can't buy me steak dinners with those medals. So it's time for you to turn pro and make money. Okay. So that is the ethos from which catch as catch can spring. Same ethos as boxing. Are there problems? Boxing, there's many documented times when a boxing match has been fixed There's ways to fix it. This happens in MMA as well, where you can fix through the booking. You book a real good guy against a tomato can, and you can protect him that way. So there are ways that you can manipulate the system, but I'm saying not those instances. And obviously, pro wrestling just leaned into it, said, "Okay, you caught us. We've been fucking fixing fights, and now it's all fake." Right? Well, Catch Wrestling said, "Okay, you guys go do that. We're going to keep being scientific wrestlers and actually competing, and the competition is going to be our laboratory by which we develop these techniques to win by a submission or a pin." Right? So you can't say that you have a belt or a rank in Catch Wrestling. You just can't, right? And in that same way, so this is where I think it's interesting. So look at a guy like John Danaher, massively successful, making a fuck ton of money, selling these instructionals, and smart guy. I've never met him. Super smart guy. Like, talk about rank, has some rank in philosophy, a PhD maybe. I don't know. Okay. But like, I watch his videos and it's like $170 and it's just like one technique and he's just going on and it's not really interesting. And that's okay. I mean, I'm just telling you my opinion. But he's a black belt. But the thing is, and this is interesting because there's parallels, right? Like, look at Freddie Roach, look at Gus D'Amato. Like, these are guys that did not have as much success as athletes, but they did, or maybe zero success as an athlete in the case of Gus D'Amato, but had great success as a coach because they're different roles, right? So this is my point. In my opinion, and maybe I'm wrong, but I'd love to hear your guys' opinions. What do you make of this rank nonsense? I mean, and I'm sorry, maybe I'm biasing. What do you make of rank? Do you think it's important? And this doesn't have to be in martial arts, okay? This could be in business or even a doctor, okay? So I posted something today, and it was actually an old post of mine, and I want to read it. I posted it on my Facebook. I don't know how many of you guys are on Facebook because I'm streaming to that, so maybe a few of you. Guys, say hey in the chat, by the way. I'd love to talk to you guys. But I posted this from a few years ago, and let me see if I can find it. It said, rare disease patients become doctors without diplomas to keep some professionals from killing them with ego and nonsense. Let me read that again. Rare disease patients become doctors without diplomas to keep some professionals from killing them with ego and nonsense. Now, this is another point I think about rank. What is a doctor? It's a rank. A guy in a white lab coat. It's like wearing a black belt. Okay, like you're still fucking human. And in fact, if you actually, now I'm a mathematician, so I can, and I'm not saying that for rank. I'm saying this is why I know this stat. The American Medical, the Journal of the American Medical Society, right, the biggest scientific journal on the planet. Dr. Barbara Starfield, who I was fortunate to talk to on the phone before she passed, did a study, showed that the third leading cause of death in the United States is actually medical error. Okay, that's the point I'm saying here. Let me reread that now that you know the third leading cause of death is medical error. And guess what? They segmented the statistic so adverse drug reactions are not counted. You add adverse drug reactions into that, like the opioid crisis, for one example. And I'm not going to mention the recent injection side effects, but you add that into the medical error stats, number one leading cause of death in front of cancer, in front of cardiovascular disease. Okay? So let me reread you this now that you understand where I'm coming from. Rare disease patients become doctors without diplomas to keep some professionals from killing them with ego and nonsense. So, when I was a kid, I ended up having cancer. And I was in and out of hospitals for like 3-4 years for real. I learned a lot. And I also learned how to suss out bullshit, right? So, maybe early on, I started realizing that rank is less important than results. If you've got a cure for cancer for me, and it works, I don't care if you're a PhD, MD, whatever. If it works, right? We look at the work of the guy who passed away, Dr. Sebi. Now, I can't speak to that because I don't know him or his work that well, but it just is a guy that pops into my head. He got killed or died or something. I'm not sure. But he had all these supposed natural cures that people were having great results with. Now, again, I bring that up maybe as a bad example because but it's just an example as to something that could be relevant to what the point I'm trying to make about results over rank, right? Okay, we've had a couple comments here. So TCY YLD 72, John Danaher is most boring. Listen, I don't mean to dog John Danaher. He's super successful, but yeah, I can't. Serge says, haha, so boring. Yep, you know it. Okay. D Victoria 213. If catch wrestling were to blow up like BJJ, it would be like natural remedies going up against big pharmaceuticals, just like you said about Dr. Sebi. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess, D Victoria 213, I appreciate that. You're feeling me. So my point is this. You should be more concerned with results than rank. So okay, I coach grappling. I've been doing that for 20 years now. 2003 will be 20 years. Okay. My 49th birthday, by the way, don't let this baby face fool you. I'll be 49 in like 3 days, which is crazy. What's up, Chad? Good to see you, man. Hey, Carlos Barron. I mean, I've been coaching grappling for a long, long time. And, seen a lot come and go, trends. I mean, we were doing leg locks a long time ago, right? And then now it's trendy, and that's cool. But, what else are you missing out on that actually works that you're blinded to because of the narrative or the propaganda or the marketing, right? Like, start looking for results instead of rank or prestige. I think that's more important. I think that's fair to say. So I've coached grappling, but I've also coached business for a long time. So I started scientific wrestling started in 2003. I started grappling for real in 1994 and first stepped on a wrestling mat in 1977, right? And got up my black belt I think it was in Taekwondo in 86. So my whole life has been around martial arts, most of my adult life around submission grappling, and the majority of that around catch as catch can, and the majority of that coaching it because I've had some bad injuries. Like I have one carotid artery and fucked up cervical disc, bad shoulder, and my fingers are all fucking jacked and whatever shit that comes with the territory. But so I started scientific wrestling in 2003, but I graduated from graduate school. I got my master's of science, that rank, in business, my master's of science in financial engineering, financial mathematics, in 2002. So that's been actually 2 decades. Okay. But that got me jobs. Okay. That got me some 6-figure jobs, and I'm grateful for that. However, it wasn't until I quit and became an entrepreneur, which again, results matter, not rank. Nobody gave a shit about your master's degree when you're running your own business. Okay. All that matters is what kind of numbers are you putting up on the board? Is that fair? So, I prefer the idea of a coach to a sensei. I prefer the idea of the only belt color that matters is gold. I'm the kind of guy that thinks only results matter, not rank. So if somebody comes in and they're the president of the United States, I don't give a shit until I actually see what are the results of you being president. And most of them have been really fucking awful. But again, what do you get when the way we choose leadership is by a fucking popularity contest? That is like the worst way to choose a fucking leader. And that's how we've done it. It's like awful. Anyway, we got some comments here. So let's see. Wizard of Oz. You're only good as what you exemplify. The mats don't lie, just like the skateboard doesn't lie. You can't get a black belt in skateboarding, right? But if you could do a mean fucking ollie or a kick flip or whatever, so I'm so fucking old. Movements and countless hours honing craft exposes those who pose for it. That's right. So D Victoria says, you telling me this makes me rethink my BJJ subscription. Well, I'm sorry. I think there are people that are results oriented. I mean, I think the first guy off the top of my head that I can think of is maybe Danaher, but more so Gordon Ryan. Fucking killing it. I don't care about your black belt. I care the fact that nobody could beat you. Oh, well, I mean, I'm sure there's people, but he's top of the fucking heap based on the bookings he's taken during his career. And it's impressive. He's fought some tough guys, right? So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. There are people I think that are more results oriented. This is, I think, also why my business, Scientific Wrestling, has always done better with MMA gyms. I've been knocking on jiu-jitsu doors for a fucking long time. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, like my perspective, having been in this game, they're very chauvinistic and very closed off. And I mean, that's why like the IBJJF rules are weird about leg locks and stuff. And they're, they have a bias, and it's fine. I know they can do that. I'm not judging. I'm just describing it. I'm not saying they ought to or not. I'm just saying it is. And I've knocked on that door like, hey, man, let me show you some of this shit. It works. It's cool. I think somebody who's been more successful at it than me is a guy like Eric Paulson. He's a great ambassador. He floats between both worlds, right? But at the same time, he's spread over a whole bunch of stuff, whereas I'm like just catch, like only catch wrestling. Everything else, that's fine. Somebody else will handle it. I want to know just this. Now, jiu-jitsu, I have not had a good like knocking on the doors. They're not interested, really. Some are. And at the beginning, most of it was not from jiu-jitsu gyms, but gyms or people who were interested in learning these tricks and taking it maybe to their jiu-jitsu. Well, now catch is its own thing because I started these competitions and other people liked the idea and started doing competitions like I did. And now catch is its own thing. But I always had great success in MMA gyms. They always booked us because they don't care. They want to win the fight. They want to win. They want to be number one. So they're like, dude, I'm a white belt, but I think I should learn leg locks because that will win me this purse on this fight card where all leg locks are allowed. I should learn neck cranks because it's allowed, right? We saw Khabib do that. We saw Liz Carmouche do that to Ronda. We saw, to Conor McGregor, Khabib did. So, like, my point is, sometimes this rank stuff is completely just made up, and it's made up as a gold sticker. Like when you're a little kid, like, oh yeah, keep coming, keep doing what I want you to do. Here's another gold sticker. Keep paying every month, right? So now that, to be honest, that has been a challenge for us as catch wrestlers, but it's like boxing, right? So, people will go to the boxing gym because they love boxing, not because they have a rank when they go watch the UFC fight at Buffalo Wild Wings and can tell all their buddies that they got some rank. They do it because they just love it, and it doesn't matter. They just want to be a part of it. Okay. And, this is important. I don't know if you guys have read the Physical Chess book that I helped Billy Robinson put out. I reread that recently because I had the International Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame is inducting Billy this year and asked me to write an intro and to induct it, which is a huge honor. It's going to be up in New York later this year. I'm super excited about that. So I had to reread the book because it had been a minute since I ghost wrote it. And he raised this great point. He said, like, look, there are people that get the gold belts, but you know what? Everybody is important in that scene that's actually contributing because there's so many great gym wrestlers that actually used to beat the championships or champs in practice, but they just didn't like the spotlight. They didn't like the pressure, whatever. They just were really badass athletes in the gym. So you gotta, just because somebody doesn't even have gold doesn't mean it's not a rank and that somebody can't lose on any given day, even the champ. Okay. So I don't know. I hope this was a useful conversation today. Guys, I just announced the new dates. I finally got around to it. We wrapped up all the spring coaching catch scientific wrestling accelerator camps in Pinion Hills, which is kind of Ontario, California, in San Diego, California, in Orlando, in Phoenix, in Denver, And now it's time to, as Billy would say, oh, can you see my tattoo? To do it again, right? um, uh, so I set up the new schedule. You can, if you're on Instagram, just go to my Instagram. You can, after we're done here, I think it's one of the top posts. It's the same on Facebook and whatnot. For those of you that are looking on, say, YouTube, let me see if I could put it up here. Here we go. Coachingcatch.com. Go to this website here. It's, you guys can't see it, but everybody else can. Same with LinkedIn and wherever else I'm broadcasting to. Go to coachingcatch.com. That's where you can register. It's a 2-day camp. We are going to be shifting things in a really cool, radical way in 2023. This is still amazing. And in 2023, it's going to get crazy sick. The other thing is because I am into business and I am into catch wrestling, I've integrated the two in an attempt to help you. Like, that's a passion of mine, is to help people become number one, either in business or in grappling or both. And the result of that is actually the Scientific Wrestler Affiliate Fight Gym program. Check that out, dude. I just opened it like 2 months ago, and we're signing up a new affiliate gym once every 2 weeks. And my goal is, and I haven't even started like promoting it and doing ads or anything like that. My goal is to get it to where we're doing one a week. My goal is within 18 months to have 100 Scientific Wrestling Affiliate Fight Gyms across the world, right? I would say across the universe, but there ain't nobody on the moon or Mars, so there's no money there, right? So I want to make you guys a professional, whether it's a coach, promoter, fan, athlete, all of the above. That's what Scientific Wrestler is about. You should check it out. Even if you don't own a gym, some of our affiliates don't own gyms. Okay. So if you own a gym, this is a no-brainer. This is a way for you to add income, different revenue streams. So you're adding income, add offerings, different class offerings, not only catch wrestling, but you also get certified in the Mace Bell by not just me, the founder, the inventor, the creator, and the entire fitness mace movement, but also the number one trainer, who's my first student, my number one student, Rick Brown. So you get certified not only to teach catch as catch can, you get certified to make money as a mace coach. Then you get all the resale rights of everything I produced in 20 years, from all the books to the instructional DVDs with total studs, like top of the food chain people like Josh Barnett, Wade Chalice, Billy Robinson, Carl Gotch, all the websites. You get all those resale rights. You get the marketing, the brand house. So you get, like, for example, we have Scientific Wrestling Canada. They were our very first affiliate. Now, if you're in Canada, you could be Scientific Wrestling Calgary. You could be Scientific Wrestling Montreal. You could be Scientific Wrestling Saskatchewan, right? But first come, first serve. So those guys were like, we're taking the name Canada. But anyway, you get the brand. So you get certification as a coach in not only grappling, but in fitness. You also get the resale rights. You get the brand. You get licensing to be a promoter for King of Catch. Our affiliate, our latest affiliate down in Phoenix, Arizona, Gil All of Us, badass dude, super knowledgeable, very serious about the catch can game, at Black Flag Submission Company down in Phoenix, Glendale, actually. He's been using the King of Catch and holding tournaments and drawing people into his gym so they could see how badass it is and sign up, right? So you're providing opportunities, you're making money while you do so, and you're getting your name and your brand out there. And you get two other things that all those other things, no other affiliates offering you except for the brand and maybe the grappling curriculum and coaching. Okay. But we're doing resale rights. We're doing tournament rights. And the other one that nobody else is doing is you're getting 6 months of 10X certified, because I'm 10X certified. I'm one of only 55 people on planet Earth certified by the man, Uncle G, Grant Cardone. Okay. I was in the number one graduating class as well. You get 6 months of 10x certified business coaching to help make sure that this is a great investment, a fantastic, the best ROI in the business. That's my aim. And as if that's not enough, I sound like one of those crazy Eddie guys. But like, honestly, I'm trying to make this offer completely, truly irresistible, as like Russell Brunson or any of these guys would call it. Like, the value stack is sick on this. I just inked a deal with the same digital agency, marketing agency, that's being used by some big names, getting them over 150 clients a month through their proprietary Facebook and Google ads. Okay. So you're going to get a crap ton of traffic. That alone, not the ad cost, just to have them do it is $1,200 a month. You get 2 months of that for free when you sign up. This is like a no-brainer. We're going to make sure you get people in the door. Then with the 10X business coaching, you're going to close those deals better than anybody. 10X, Grant Cardone is the planet's the #1 sales and marketing trainer on earth. Okay. So you're going to get a crap ton of people in your door. You're going to close those deals, and then you're going to retain them because you've got the #1 grappling catch can brand on earth, a great curriculum, fitness classes, and resale rights for all the intellectual property. Okay. That deal, do you know, like, so a lot of these affiliate gyms for these like retail martial arts schools that I was talking about today, they charge like $300-400 a month. You realize if you're getting charged $400 a month, after 2 years, that's $10,000. And after that, the next 2 years, another $10,000. So after 4 years, how much are you paying? After 4 years, you're paying 20 grand. Okay. It's crazy. You could do the math and see how that adds up. You do a one-time payment with me of $10,000 for life. And then after that, it's only $500 a year to stay an affiliate with us. Okay. And as if that's not enough, and I've got a company that will finance it. As long as you don't have a crap ton of pre-existing debt, you can have some debt, but not a lot. And a minimum credit score of $600, they'll finance it for you. You can spread it out. If you spread it out over 8 years, it's less than $200. It's like $185 a month versus $400 a month forever. Okay. This deal is designed as an investment. But what's cool for those of you who are freaking nerds for grappling, in particular scientific wrestling, our brand of catch can, the only curriculum co-designed and endorsed by Billy Robinson, by the way, only one. All the rest, no. The only rule set co-developed by Carl Gotch with business coaching certified by Grant Cardone and a digital agency that is absolutely okay. I don't know. Now I'm going on. Message me. Let's go. Let's get you making some money. Let's get you getting some results with your passion. If your passion is like me. Now, if it's not grappling, guess what? I have clients that I help do that because of my experience. I've started started the first reverse mortgage consultancy. I've helped my wife's software company grow massively from like 2 employees to over 10 to making 7 figures. I've helped. I launched the Fitness Mace. It has a whole fitness product, but I've helped countless businesses also. Not only if they're in the shitter, turn themselves around, but if they are doing okay, to scale to the next level. And that's the #1 coaching. That's if you don't want to do anything with the grappling thing. I totally get it. Anyway, I'm going on and on. We're reaching on to an hour here. I appreciate all you guys that popped in on the chats. I appreciate all you guys that hung out with me and just listened to me go on and on. I get excited about these things. I'm very passionate about it. If you guys need anything, if I can help you, I had a guy, actually a guy named Mike, call me yesterday after the show. We started talking on DMs and Instagram actually, and started talking. This guy's a stud. He shares with me a coach, Frank Shamrock, who was a coach of mine and is a coach of his, and ended up talking. He wants to do the affiliate program, but you know, he needed a few steps to get there. He called me. We ended up talking for like a half hour. I gave him a crap ton of stuff to do to make it happen, because it's his dream. I want to help you. But the great thing is this becomes a win-win because you help me with my mission. If you don't know, my mission is a mission that was put on to me by Carl Gotch and Billy Robinson, like massive pressure for me. But pressure is a privilege in my mind. That's you put pressure on a lemon, you get lemonade, right? You put pressure on coal, you get a diamond. That's how I look at it. But that pressure is my mission. And my mission is get every man, woman, and child on planet Earth involved and benefiting from the sport of scientific wrestling, catch as catch can, as either a fan, athlete, coach, or promoter. Right? That's my mission. So I want to help you, and especially if you want to help me with my mission. So as I showed, and rewind if you missed it, you can go find this on YouTube, or no1.ninja is the replay page. I've got the YouTube and the Spotify replay up. You guys, this is designed to make you guys money and make you successful and sustainable and put food on the table for your family. Because if I don't do that, my mission's not succeeding. I want every man, woman, and child on planet Earth to get involved and improve themselves through something to do with scientific wrestling as a fan, athlete, coach, or promoter. Okay. So that's my mission. And I appreciate you guys for giving a shit about my mission. Especially, hey, shout out to Mike, dude. Let's go, dude. Super excited. He would be the fifth. Now, I said it was $10,000. I forgot the best part. The best part is the first 8 people, I'm knocking off $2,000. Because you're an early adopter, you're going to help me iron out some kinks, that kind of thing. I'm knocking off $2,000. It's actually $8,000. But we've already got 4, so there's only 4 left. Okay. So I have a feeling Mike might be number 5. I had 2 other calls today. We'll see. My close ratio is pretty high, so we'll see. Like I said, I'm closing 1 every 2 weeks. My goal is to close at least 1 a week, if not more, within the next 18 months. I want 100 affiliates. Right now, here's the thing. Like I said, you don't have to own a gym. We have affiliates that don't own a gym, but they're my partner, because that's what happens when you license this. You become my partner. Become a licensee and affiliate. He could take that, and he's taken that to other gyms and said, hey man, I'm a scientific wrestling affiliate. I can help draw people into your gym. And now he's making money that way without actually having the overhead of a gym. Okay. Now, if you already have a Gracie Barra, you already have a Hoist Gracie, I don't know. There's so many associations, 10th Planet. Guess what? You could do it too. You can add on, add more revenue streams, add more offerings, right? The best ROI in the business. So if you can't do it, and you do want to help me with my mission to get the mission put on me by Billy Robinson to Carl Gotch, message me somebody you know. Do a digital introduction. That's where we're at. To me, this is the way we're going to take this sport to the next level and blow it up, and it deserves it. It's the greatest grappling combat sport ever known to man. And I appreciate you guys. We'll talk tomorrow. Again, results over rank. I think we agree on that. Talk to you then. Bye.